Drugs are illegal, yet people still continue to use them. They are dangerous substances that at first may seem fun, but can lead to a person ruining their life. Drugs have a universal appeal because of the way that they make people feel good. What a lot of people don't know is the side effects can be a major health risk. Sometimes drug abuse can even eventuate in death. I've interviewed a person who has taken drugs in the past. They will tell you about the negative effects drugs have had on their life, why they took them, and why they won't take them again.
I started taking drugs when I was 15. Started with cannabis. After about a year, I moved on to ecstasy and speed. And then after about a year after that, I moved on to LSD. And I took cannabis because a few of my mates were smoking it. I was about 14, and a few of my mates were smoking it, and it was cool at the time, I suppose. And I just wanted to, I don't know, I just got introduced to alcohol in it, and I thought I want something else as well. And cannabis did it. That's really where I started taking drugs, on cannabis really, and then it just lifted off from there basically.
My drug use over the years has started off with cannabis. I used to go around to my aunties and they'd be smoking weed there, and a spliff would get passed about. Lived with that until I was about 17, using cannabis to put me to sleep. I know for the morning I'd have half a spliff, and that half a spliff would wake me up, just keep me high through the day.
Cannabis is the most widely used illegal drug in Britain. It is a mild sedative and it's also a mild hallucinogen. It is a Class B drug. Cannabis is made from the dried leaves and flowering parts of the female plant and looks like dried herbs.
There's a difference between being stoned and high. High is a happier place. Stoned is almost awake, but pretty much asleep.
Right, I still do cannabis. I've done it from the age of 15. It's my favourite drug. It chills you out. It makes you enjoy computer games a lot more for some reason. But the bad thing about it is it eats my money. Like, it's probably my biggest problem at the moment is weed smoking, because it just costs too much money. Like, I get my money and then I just go spend it on weed. So that's a big problem with weed.
Cocaine. They are stimulants with powerful but short-lived effects. Cocaine and crack are Class A drugs, white powder that's usually divided into a line on a smooth surface and snorted up the nose with a rolled up note or straw.
Cocaine don't really do much for me. I've done it a few times, but I don't know, it just don't really do nothing for me. Unlike NCAT does something for me. That gives me rush, and that. It's a bit like cocaine, but for me, I think you feel it a bit more. Bad things about that is it gives you a snotty nose next day, and now it's illegal. It wasn't illegal not too long ago, so I was going mad on it, but now it's illegal, so I'm not touching that.
Cocaine's overrated. It's an expensive drug for a cheap buzz. A gram could last you about an hour. Now that's 40 quid in an hour. The last batch of cocaine I tried was actually cut with MCAT. The effects of coke are like speed, but very short-lived.
Methadone, otherwise known as MCAT. It can also cause anxiety and paranoid states and risks overstimulating the heart and circulation. It is a Class B drug and can be smoked and in rare cases injected. Also comes in capsules and pills.
Speed. There was a time in my life where I used to go on binges with all my mates on speed and that, and just through excessive use of that, I've gone off it because of the come downs, the days after. You just don't feel good, and it's dirty as well.
Speed, that was a big part of my life. It kept me awake. We used to take speed on a regular basis. You get things like paranoia with friends you've been socialising with for the last God knows how many months, and you feel that you can't trust them.
Speed is a street name for a range of amphetamines. You can get strongly addicted to amphetamines. Speed is a Class B drug and can be dabbed onto the gums or snorted in a line like cocaine. Sometimes swallowed, called a speed bomb. It can also be mixed into drinks.
LSD, probably the best drug I've done. Trip your box off, you rush. The only bad thing about it, I can say, is it makes you mental. If you take too much of it, you go insane.
LSD got passed about, and that was coming in a bottle. On that, my experience on LSD were a lot different to pills. I'd gone on like a time warp. People that looked like they aged an extra 20 years.
LSD is a hallucinogenic drug commonly called acid. The experience is known as a trip, and these trips can be good or bad. LSD is a Class A drug and usually sold as a tiny square of paper with a picture on it, but it can be found as a liquid or as a tiny pellet.
With ecstasy, I tried my first pill. It was a little white one. You can say it was like wearing an outfit for someone that might have been Batman, Superman. It's a different character altogether, but not far from the person themselves.
In ecstasy, first time I did Ease, man, wow, that was brilliant. Listening to dance music, get a proper rushing feeling, and now it just doesn't do anything for me. And that's it, that's all drugs I've done.
Ecstasy. The effects take about half an hour to kick in and tend to last between 3 to 6 hours. Sounds and colours are more intense. Ecstasy is a Class A drug. Sold on the streets, is usually in a tablet form and comes in all sorts of colours, and some of them have pictures or logos stamped on them.
Drugs have had a bad effect on my life because I'm homeless. That's probably due to me spending all my money on weed. And well, there's a lot of other things with that, but it basically just eats your money up. That's the bad effect. There's a lot of drugs that are bad for your health, bad mentally and physically for your health, but it's mainly money, to be honest. It just eats your money up.
I mean, my drug intake over the last 3 years has affected my lifestyle, in the aspect of I have very few friends that don't smoke, and when you're level-headed and you see the speed freaks and you see the potheads and the cokeheads, you kind of think, nah, is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to be? Is that where I want to go?